Welcome to Northwest Connecticut and an absolutely sun-drenched Lime Rock Park for the New England Grand Prix, the fourth round of the American Le Mans Series Championship Chase on CBS Sports. Now today marks the resumption of American Le Mans competition after the pilgrimage to the legendary 24 Hours of Le Mans in France, where American Le Mans teams once again enjoyed huge success. It is also the final race for one of the greatest sports cars of all time, Audi's magnificent R8, hoping to retire today with a 50th American Le Mans win in the prototype or P1 class. In the P2 class, for the less powerful but lighter prototypes, as at Mid-Ohio, Roger Penske's two Porsche Spyders again dominated qualifying and have swept the overall front row.
I'm Timo Bernhard from Germany.
I'm Romain Dumas from France.
Hello, my name's James Weaver and I'm from England.
Butch Leitzinger, Reeversburg, Pennsylvania.
Hi, I'm Thomas Enge. I'm from Czech Republic.
I'm Darren Turner from Banbury, England.
My name is Ralf Kellenas. I come from Düsseldorf, Germany.
Hi, my name is Tony Villander. I come from Kankaanpää, Finland.
Oh, we got a little problem here. That is the 16, which is the car that qualified on pole in the P1 category. James Weaver behind the wheel.
Problems for the 16 car down here. James Weaver sits in it. He said the clutch is completely dead. That means it is down on the floor. They've lost all hydraulics for the clutch, and that is going to be a problem for these guys. Probably a lengthy fix. They will go several laps down after we go green.
We are underway at the New England Grand Prix, heading down into Big Bend, as they call it, a double apex corner. Very slippery, lock up there. That is the Highcroft Racing Lola, one of the cars that Dyson ran last year, and that has really bottled up the pack behind them.
Yeah, Duncan Dayton there has a problem there. You see him moving to the outside of that Big Bend turn, and the Corvette has taken the lead over the Aston Martin in the GT1 category. That's a big move for that team.
That was exactly what the Aston Martins were worried about, and Darren Turner and teammate were very concerned about trying to get the lead right at the start. Do not let the vets by, and that strategy has gone away as we hop on board with the 007.
That's Darren Turner, the Brit, now following Ron Fellows. He makes his 50th consecutive start in American Le Mans Series competition through West Bend.
Heading into Big Bend, heading on to No Name, and a couple of other spots, the bumps that this track still offers up. The question is, have the Porsches solved that issue?
Well, they've had some reliability issues that took them to round 3 to even see a checkered flag this season. Then they had a 1-2 in the victory, of course, at Mid-Ohio. But the transmission has been the Achilles heel. What they're doing now is changing that transmission overnight before the race today. So they got a brand new fresh gearbox in the car. And here we see that R8, the legendary sports car, had so much success right now in the hands of Capello, who won the championship with his teammate Manish back in the year 2000.
And here's a great development for the BMW team from Milner's PTG program. Joey Hand has leapt into the early lead, and by my reckoning, Calvin, it's the first time we've seen the BMW out front in this class all season. A great development for them.
This is a big turnaround. They've really had problems in the opening rounds, mainly with the brakes. They've found the problem with that, and the advantage that this team has here at Lime Rock Park, they're the only car in the GT2 category that has anti-lock braking system on it, so that will really have a big major role over the bumps here. But Joey Hand, what a recovery he's made. He had just a spectacular crash at Mid-Ohio just last weekend and wasn't sure he's going to be fit enough to run, but he's shown he's got the speed immediately. Great performance by Joey.
And here's a look at GT2. That is the margin. There you see Joey Hand. Right behind him is the Finnish driver, Tony Villander, in the Ferrari. And then right behind them, you see the number 31, the Porsche of Jörg Bergmeister.
And then there's a big battle here with the Corvette and the Aston Martin again, Greg.
The 007 has gone back around number 3, Fellows, and has picked up the lead in the class.
This is a big surprise. The 6 is in pit lane. Here it is, down at the Big Bend again, and wow, he had the inside line, and Marc Genet, very experienced guy in Grand Prix racing, but not in GT, closed the door there. I'd have to say that Sasha Masson really should have had the line there for that corner, but Marc Genet didn't want to give it to him, turned in quite abruptly, and we talked about you got to be patient around this racetrack, and talking about contact with race cars in the open, it costs you dearly. This is costing this car a lot of ground in the pits here and in the points chase.
They've been watching a great show thus far, but right now they're watching a full course caution. A number of reasons for it. This is one of the major ones that clearly, without a miracle, looks like the win streak for the number 4 CompuWare Corvette is at an end. The reason is they were involved with this car, the number 20 of Chris Dyson, that had worked his way up to 3rd overall.
Well, they're coming through the S's here, through the left hand, and then we talked about in the open, you just can't make a move there, even if you have a faster car. And there's a very quick transition here. Olivier starts to turn in, and Chris is there, bang on the apex. So Chris probably thinks it should have been his corner, but Olivier views it an entirely different way.
Right before we went to caution, we were talking about the great run by Joey Hand and the number 21 BMW with Calvin. That changed up too.
It did. There you see Wielander in the Ferrari making a big move to the inside, and the Porsche of Bergmeister close behind. So it's very tight down there. Joey certainly didn't make it easy, and Bergmeister took advantage. See Joey there, got a little loose there as he tried to finish off Big Ben.
Leading him up to the green one more time, Romain Dumas in the number 7 Porsche, and he is gone. Couple of classes back as the P1 car, but it's the GT2 battle, and Capello's going to get right in the midst of that battle, Calvin.
He was. The leader there had a big cushion. He had 4 GT2 cars in between him and Dindo Capello here in the Audi. He's got to be patient. This corner coming up next is exactly where Chris Dyson got himself into trouble. So Dindo probably got alongside there. The car could see him in the mirrors, and now he's going to try and get past the GT2 leader, but he has to wait.
Welcome back to Lime Rock Park, where once again this big crowd is witnessing a full course caution. And Calvin, the reason for this caution is a big shunt at the bottom of that diving turn.
Aboard with Jamie Bach, master-powered P2 car down at the downhill. He just loses it big time. I don't think there's any contact there, but there's the contact. What a whack into the wall, but wait. There comes the GT2 leader. Tony Wielander essentially T-bones him.
I'm doing all right. Car, I wish could say the same, but it'll be a little bit before we get that put back together. It seemed like there was some debris or oil out on the track, and back end just all of a sudden went around on me and lost it and ended up in the tires, and unfortunately the Ferrari made its way through as well and ended up collecting into my car as well. So not much you can do. That's racing, I guess.
And as we're coming down to the green flag,
Green.
there it is, and the overall leader is Chris McMurray in the Jean-Richard Lola. Number 12, one of the LMP1 cars, some pit strategy paying off for them. They lead overall at this stage. You see the car sitting behind them on the track is the leader in GT1, the 007 Aston Martin of Darren Turner. But that car, we're waiting for timing and scoring to clear to see if that car actually sits in the 2nd overall spot. We believe that would be Bernard, actually. But nonetheless, a great call. And tell you what, this team with McMurray and Mike Lewis coming up next, and then Jean-Richard Lola doing a stellar job.
And the 37's in the penalty box. We understand they got a 1-minute penalty. This is over a lap, so what a disaster for this team. Trying to take advantage of the 6 car, the Penske Spider, having issues. They should have been on for a strong podium finish here. So this is really going to hurt. Here we see Dindo Capello really starting to pile the pressure on. He's going to look to the outside. That's not going to work. Timo Bernard shuts the door. Traffic again an issue. We talked about the S's. You have to be patient, but look at McNish. This is McNish now behind the wheel of the Audi, having taken over from Dindo, who started the race. Problem with the GT2 car. That's a 23 car.
That's the Alex Job entry.
That's Graf down into Big Ben. See the Panos. Graf got in deep. Milner tried to take advantage of it, got to the inside, turned him around, and there's David Brabham right behind. Narrow missing it.
And Ralph, we have a battle for the overall lead and the class lead mix-up as well. And it looks like Timo Bernard has gone around McMurray. That should put him back in the overall lead. McMurray 2nd and McNish 3rd. Top 3 overall. Remembering, of course, that Timo Bernard running the Porsche in the P2 class.
This is awesome stuff. What a job by Chris McMurray. He's the defending champion here at Lime Rock in the P2 category. And now it gets really tight. McNish looks to the inside. He's got to give it up. The Corvette gets out of the way. Good job by Alan McNish there, not forcing the issue. That was going to get ugly.
Oh, and the number 16 of Weaver, finally. A lot of laps down, but coming out into pit lane from the paddock, and over an hour in terms of time lost. And, of course, that would be an awful lot of laps, considering they're clicking them off in the 50-second range here, but they got that car fixed. We're on board now with your new overall race leader, Alan McNish, the number 2 Audi.
Timo Bernard trying to deal with the traffic. He gets hung up there a little bit, and then he drops a wheel. McNish just hovering, just waiting, and then he gets the run to the inside. This is a risk. Oh, look at the Panos, nearly squeezes Alan McNish. Then he sees him, gets out of the way. That'd be David Brown behind the wheel of the 50. Then he slides inside of the 22 car, Justin Marks.
Now let's drop back to GT2, where we have a tremendous battle going on. That's the 31, Patrick Long, the MM Pie, Peterson White Lightning Porsche, leads the class right now, and you can see those overall leaders working their way through. Then a couple of seconds back is Joey Hand, and right behind him is David Brabham. So again, the battle in GT2 very strong right now. Long getting a little bit better run, I would think, through some of that traffic.
Well, they're trying to turn things around. They're the defending champions coming off the win last year for the championship, but they had a huge wreck. Jörg Bergmeister actually run at Le Mans in this car and had a massive shunt at one of the chicanes. They had to completely buy a new chassis, rebuild it here on site over the last 6 days, and they were immediately up to speed. So what a great job the team has done to put a car underneath these drivers that is as quick as the one that was crashed.
Speaking of action, had some tremendous action, Calvin, in GT1.
We have the Aston Martins and the Corvettes going at it hard here. Coming through the chicane. That's Ronnie Fellows in the number 3 machine. Really just trying to get a good run here on Stefan Sarrazin.
Of course, when we went to break, the 007 was leading, and here's how that evolved.
Here they are coming down into Big Bend. A Sarrazin to the inside. Gets really squirrely there. Makes a great move, though, on Darren Turner. Turner leaves the door open now for Ron Fellows to take advantage, and Ron really forced the issue there. That was close.
Welcome back to the New England Grand Prix at Lime Rock Park here on CBS Sports. We are under a full course caution. This one brought out simply by a lot of debris out on the track. There was stuff scattered everywhere, and it was a real mess. So they decided to go caution.
Well, a lot of confusion down on pit road. I'm standing here with Brad Kettler from Audi Sport North America Team Champion. He's talking on the radio. But Brad, what's up, bud?
You know, as we close the pits here in the American Le Mans Series, we were poised to come in from the lead as soon as the pits opened. Alan was instructed. He knew what was going on. When he approached the pit entrance, there was marshals in the road picking up debris. They motioned him past. When they motioned him past, he passed the pit entrance. That's it. He could not come in the pit entrance. It was blocked with marshals. It's a devastating blow to our race, and I certainly hope the organizers can fix it for us.
Well, they're looking for a little help from the officials. You heard it, devastating. It has given the 7 car the opportunity to come to pit road, get their stop, and get back out. It's cost them dearly, Cal.
Dumas leads them up to the green flag. A bit of controversy here, and he comes by with a huge margin in hand over McNish.
Well, the big question is, can Alan McNish close down that gap? Because not only is he running second, he had some lap cars between he and the leader right now, which is Dumas. So McNish has done a tremendous job, but he has got his work cut out if he's going to get the overall victory here today. And that's the 12 car slowing.
Oh, that is a shame. That is the Jean-Richard Lola. Mike Lewis behind the wheel, currently second in P1.
If the front and the tail is that bad, we might as well change both of them, man.
Oh, look at this. McNish has done it again in traffic, Calvin. Works it magically underneath Dumas into Big Ben, and Alan McNish had 5 laps ago. It was 5 seconds a gap. It's gone. He is your new leader. This guy is unbelievable today.
The Aston chops across. Dumas loses momentum. Here's McNish, gets a great run down the front straightaway. Nothing Dumas can do at this point in time other than just let Alan have the corner.
Right now, McNish in the last 2 laps, Calvin, has ballooned the margin over Dumas to 13 seconds. The last 2 laps, McNish was running in the high 47s, Dumas in the 52s. McNish has just got it done.
Well, Liz Halliday with a little incident out there at the uphill corner. Liz, you've never been to Lime Rock before. What do you think of it?
I've driven my last stint basically without any brakes. We've had to pump the brakes all the way down the straights, and every time before you brake in any corner. And I just think I was that split second too late pumping them when I went to pass Ferrari, and pedal went straight to the floor, and then the rear brakes caught up, and it just shot me around and into the wall. So, you know, I guess that's what happens sometimes.
Meanwhile, in GT1, the battle is rejoined. Johnny O'Connell has closed it back up right onto the back of Tomas Enga, who has been repassed for the lead by Pedro Lamy. Those Aston Martins going back and forth, and O'Connell has closed it up right there. Those 3 cars, that is your battle for position in GT1. This is some great stuff.
It really is. Johnny O'Connell was running second, then he got past, got out wide, and picked up some of those marbles, those little pieces of rubber on his tires. It took him a few laps to clean that off and get the car back up to speed. But right now, he is putting the pressure back on the Aston Martin squad. Now remember, this number 3 Corvette is not one done in nearly a year. It was in Finion last summer, that Johnny O'Connell and Ron Fellows last won a race. He wants it desperately. The 4 car is out of the equation today, but he's got 2 very fast green Aston Martins right in front of him. He can see the victory. He's got to leapfrog both of these cars. Oh, he looks to the inside. Thomas Enger, is he going to make it? This is going to be tough. Enger now has the inside line for the chicane. Very difficult to pass there into the uphill. See the little squiggle there by Enger as he jumps back on the power. Wide again, Enger's struggling with grip. Here comes O'Connell to the inside in the diving turn. Got him! Beautiful move.
That's right. That's right. Now focus on the next one, okay?
Meanwhile, McNish, white flag, here it comes onto the front straight. He's got a lot of traffic, and that one lap with traffic.
Okay, white flag is out. That's for you. One more lap.
It's got to be nerve-wracking. He gets through some of it.
Wow, this is it. This is the GT1 battle. Johnny O'Connell, can he make a move here?
He's got this and a lap, because I believe they were already through, and he's chucking. He's looking the inside into No Name. Not there.
Lammy defends, now up through the chicane. Very hard to pass between here and the start-finish line. Traffic ahead. Will it play a factor?
There's a slow car up ahead.
We heard radio chatter that the 007 indeed had run off its tires. Here we go, McNish and the R8, the 50th win for this remarkable car in American Le Mans. And here we go. Oh, so close. Wow. Oh, the 009 of Lammy, but the margin.
Scoreboard doesn't have nothing. Nice drive, man. Great drive.
Well, we show it as 3 100ths, 33 1,000ths of a second.
Look at the champion team. That is awesome. That is awesome. For that R8, great sports car to get another victory. Look at Alan McNish. This is a big one.
Celebrating here in Victory Lane. Alan, spectacular isn't even a good enough word to describe that drive. I know you've been a part of big victories in this Audi R8, but this victory, how big is it?
I think it was the most important victory this car could have got, and only the correct victory was what we had today. If it had finished its life and career in motorsport with anything but a flag to flag, then that would have been disappointing, and we were able to give it that. I'm so proud.
Yesterday, Pedro Lammy took his Aston Martin and tried to submerge it. Had 3 inches of water in the driver cockpit. Had over 200 pounds of mud and dirt coming out of the car, and today you're standing in Victory Lane as the winner in GT1.
It was great. I mean, this is a very difficult track with the traffic, so I knew that this race would be difficult, but the team did a great job with the strategy, and the car was good. We had a little problem with the engine at the end, losing a lot of speed on the straight, but it was enough to win. It was great.
Johnny, you almost had him coming to the line. Can you tell me what happened coming down the hill?
You know what? I knew I had to get a good run on him through 7, and I did, but you know, again, getting all that extra weight, you know, gaining speed is kind of tough. And, you know, hats off to them. What was really cool, I think the neatest thing is, you know, we got this great rivalry between Corvette Racing and Aston Martin, and, you know, that we could race that close and you know, not be hitting each other. I think that's what sports car racing is all about.
Jorg Borgmeister in this GT2 winning number 31 car. And Jorg, last year after a championship season, a string of bad luck until now. A new car, does that mean new luck?
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, the whole crew did an awesome job putting that out together. It was really close. We almost thought we wouldn't make it for that race, but they did a great job. And it's even better. Bad luck seems to be gone. We won that race. It's just great. I hope we are back for the championship now.